So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Blind Power. So today we're going to talk about the Samsung Unpacked event. We're going to talk about the Galaxy S10, S10e, and S10 Plus. So first off, the S10 and S10 Plus are your normal, standard high-end models. And the S10e, I guess it stands for economy, but what it basically is a cheaper version of the S lineup, the S10, S10 Plus. It's the lower end, which is actually really good. You get a lot for your budget. The price is $749, so that's where the S10 models start at the S10e at $749. So let's get started off with the S10. Let me read you the specs. We'll go to all the specs of all the devices and then go from there. So the S10 has a 6.1 inch display. Of course, it's OLED. And all of these have the Infinity O display, which has the little notch cut out on the top right of the display. Pop it on the screen while I talk about it. So basically, it's almost a notchless display. Now, for the specifications, so yes, you do get 8 gigs of RAM. You get a 3400 mAh battery. You get wireless charging, your typical Samsung stuff. So now what's special is the Infinity O display. It's no notch. So basically, if you're using it, you get a little cutout on the top right. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I know the notch in the middle is very interruptive. Like if you're looking at the phone, it's obvious you're going to see the notch because it's right there in the middle. But on the top right, it's a part of the screen that you don't use, and it may be better. Let's talk about the S10's camera. So the S10 comes with 3 cameras: the ultra wide, the standard, and the telephoto. Now I consider this phone great for accessibility because of the fact that the telephoto lens, you can zoom in on stuff. I love when phones have telephoto lenses. Yeah, the ultra wide is great for, cinematography and stuff, but cool that there is a telephoto. Now let's go to the S10 Plus specifications. So, on the S10 Plus, you have the same triple rear cameras. You have a 6.4 inch display and your standard 8 gigs of RAM. The battery has a 4100 mAh. That's huge. That'll last you all day. If you use Bluetooth devices and you basically are, using a Braille display or something, and you're always connected, Bluetooth may draw some energy. Then you get a little more battery life when you're doing powerful tasks or multitasking or have accessories that pull on your device battery. So that's awesome. Now there is a 5G version, ultra version, I guess, that they announced that comes with, instead of 8 gigs of RAM, it comes with 12 gigs of RAM, and it comes with half a terabyte of storage. Actually, I think they have half a terabyte, and I think they have a 1 terabyte. I'm sorry. So they have the 1 terabyte on that phone with 12 gigs of RAM. That is massive. I mean, you probably will never get to 12 gigs unless apps are optimized to use that much memory, but that's good to know. Now, I want to talk about these 3 devices. Now, the S10, S10 Plus, now this, and the S10e, this notch design that I'm kind of a fan of, because when you're using zoom, for example, the notch tends to cut out some of the content on the top. Now, when you use zoom, the normal Android zoom, tap with 1 finger 3 times, you no longer will get that weird notch getting in the middle of the way, which happens to me on my Pixel 3 XL, and you have to kind of scroll up, but then it's wait, I'm at the top of the screen, what am I going to do now? There's little things, intrusions with the notch and zoom that definitely kind of fixed here, because it's on the top right, so your content won't be blocked with the notch. There's a way to disable the notch, but why disable that? Because you're going to lose screen real estate. Now these are 3 powerful phones. They all come, of course, with your standard Samsung Bixby, which I don't know how I feel about it. I think Google Assistant is better, but they're definitely a step up from last year's S9 and S9 Plus. The S10e I'm actually kind of excited for, because I feel like it brings in a more competitive device that competes with the iPhone the iPhone XR, which currently has no competition except like the OnePlus, but the OnePlus beats it. So this is kind of like on par with the iPhone XR. It's kind of like, well, you know, it's more of a competition for the XR than the OnePlus. The OnePlus, you know, it's more considered of a mid-ranger, high-end mid-ranger. So that's that. And you know, for accessibility-wise, you know, you still get the little tiny notch, and it's almost bezel-less as well. So yeah, it's a more debatable topic of like OnePlus 6T versus the S10e. I would love to see that comparisons. You know, if you know, Pocket Now and CNET, you guys are watching, please do that comparison. I would love to see that. That's a very neck-on-neck comparisons. That is something that, wow, I would love to see that. So let's get started on the Galaxy Fold. I'm excited for this phone. I see this phone as the best phone for the visually impaired because it basically fits inside of a small form factor and it opens up to become a tablet. So let's get started with the specs, and then we're gonna you know, nerd out a little bit on what this phone is. So basically this phone, when it's unfolded, it's a 7.3-inch Infinity Flex display, and it opens up like a book, and it basically has inside of the phone, it's got a full display that it's the Infinity Flex display. Now this display is of course 7.3, like I mentioned earlier, and it looks massive. There's no, I mean, it's hard to distinguish the you know, the hemisphere that divides the two sides of the phone. It does come with 2 batteries. I'll talk about the battery capacity in a minute. Now when it's folded in, it's a 4.6-inch display. I'm holding my phone because I gotta look at the notes. It's a lot of information, but you know, it's cool because folding up to that size is like having an iPhone 6 open up to become a huge tablet. Now, to me, from what it looked like, it looked to be like a landscape style tablet, so it doesn't, the aspect ratio is a little bit different, but it looks nice. It's got the same triple rear cameras that the S10 and S10 Plus had, so that's great. You get all the high-end specs. So the Galaxy Fold, you know, has a lot of great features. You know, it's got the 12 gigs of RAM, half a terabyte of storage, and it's amazing to me how of a great accessible phone this is, because when it's closed, it's got a front single-facing normal selfie camera, so you get both worlds. You get the tablet world, you get the smartphone world with you. You know, you have a normal like iPhone 6 sized phone, and then you open it up, and then you know, you get a full-blown iPad mini size. I say the iPhone 6, but it could be the iPhone 7 or 8. Just, you know, normal 4.6-inch size. For the iPhone 6, 7, and 8 are 4.7, but it's close enough. You know, like an iPhone non-plus size, opening it up and getting an iPad mini size. That is amazing. I consider it probably one of the best accessibility phones from, you know, what, you know, the numbers look like the hardware, what I saw so far. It looks amazing. It looks like a great accessibility phone because, you know, you're visually impaired, you need a bigger screen on the go. Yeah, the front-facing screen, you know, the normal, that sounds weird, front-facing screen, but it's a closed screen, you know, which is a normal 4.6. Sounds like it's small, but it'll probably do the job for calling and declining calls, you know, your basic task. Texting, maybe not, but, you know, for that you can open it up and use a normal 7.3-inch display, which is massive, and you can do everything on there, and use the normal 4.6-inch screen for your basic calls and, you know, calling and declining calls. So, you know, not much in the sense of like using that main front screen, so you're mostly going to be using the back-facing screen, so that's great. Now let's talk about for all the devices. Now for OCR, it's going to be awesome. So if you're a TalkBack user and you're using OCR every day, it'll be great to have any of the you know, the S10, S10 Plus for the Galaxy Fold. S10e maybe not, because it doesn't have the telephoto from what I understand. But it is a lower end version, but you know, it may work. So basically, you know, the S10e may not be the best for that task, but the S10 and S10 Plus and Galaxy Fold will, and you don't have any dark mode thing like on the Pixel where you can do OCR in the dark. No, but you do get a solid line of phones. The S10 is $899, S10 Plus $999, S10e $749. The Galaxy Fold is incredibly expensive at $1,980. So, it's definitely going to be interesting to see this phone in person. When I get the chance, I want to go to the Samsung store in my local area here in Miami, and I want to see the phone in person. I want to check it out. I want to feel it, and if I can record, I'll record, because I want to give you guys my insight on this phone, in person. I feel like it's going to be, the Galaxy Fold is going to be the best phone for the visually impaired, and the S10 and S10 Plus are going to be great phones for OCR because of the telephoto lens. And Samsung has, great cameras. They always do a good job. So it's going to be excellent to see, the reviews for these phones. I'm definitely looking forward. Now, the S10e, it's a great competitor to the iPhone XR. But the XR has telephoto. So that'll probably give the XR a little bit of a heads up, for when it comes to OCR. But if you're like XR or, S10e, if you use OCR or if you use Zoom on your phone, like to zoom with the camera, you can decide, do you need a telephoto camera or not? If you don't need it, then go for the S10e. If you do need it, then go for the iPhone XR. Those are direct competitors. I would love to see a review or a comparison for those two phones. So Pocket Now, see that. If you're listening, if you're watching, then that would be great. And Samsung, if you send me out a friggin' Galaxy Fold, I would love to review it, or any of the new phones, because I would love to review your phones from an accessibility standpoint. Shameless plug, but it would be great to review your phones from an accessibility standpoint, and talk about them and do a full review on them, with the phone in hand. But Twitter down below. Shameless plug. So enough of that. That's my recap for the Samsung event. So, they did announce the Galaxy earbuds, and they talked a little bit about AKG and stuff, but I basically wanted to give you, a short, brief, summary of what they announced. I didn't consider the headphones a big deal, and I also didn't consider reverse wireless charging a big deal, because they're more of gimmicks. The reverse wireless charging, the headphones, they're your standard AirPod competitor, but they look great as well. They have Bixby in them and stuff, but really nobody likes Bixby, so I doubt that those headphones will sell well, unless the sound quality is absolutely incredible. So, alright, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hit the subscribe button, and remember to enable the notification bell to get all notifications of blind power uploads. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.